by writing things.
I told my girls not to say shut up anymore because they were going shut up to each other. And I said, you need to say,
shut
don't
up.
Be silly. Don't be silly. So now you hear them saying, don't be silly. And then they look at me. I hate the word shut up.
Steve and I laugh and say shut up to each other because I was never allowed to say it.
Oh. Sometimes I'll say shut up. Shut up.
Shut the up.
That just, I know. I got, shut up. Stop being silly. How about that?
So listening. So that's one of the things that I am working on. That was one of my intentions for this new year, was to really listen and really hear what the person is saying without reading too much into it.
Yes. And I also think that doctors do this a lot. Like, have you ever gone into a doctor's office and he comes in and he's in a hurry, he's in a rush, he spends 2 minutes with you and you're trying to get it out. You're trying to get it out, all the symptoms, and he's like, yeah, but this is what I think you've got. Here you go. Take this and call me in 2 weeks. And you're like, but I really wanted you to hear, I don't need to hear that. I can tell from your case history what you wrote down. I know exactly what's going on. But I just really want to be heard. Let me get it out. So my youngest, I love that you brought this up. My youngest, he doesn't stutter, but sometimes it takes him a minute to figure out what he's trying to say. So we had to work on this for a while because I do have a nephew who was diagnosed with Tourette's when he was young. And it's not the Tourette's where you
blurt out
things. No. It was the kind of Tourette's that he would start to talk and he would get stuck and he would stutter. And so he was real little when this happened. And I was like, he's too little to be stuttering. Like, I don't think that's it. And then they took him in and they diagnosed him with Tourette's, which he outgrew it. So right. I don't know that he ever had Tourette's. That's just the diagnosis they got. So when my son started to show signs of that, where he was starting to get stuck, and it was so cute because he's the baby. And so nobody ever wants to pay attention to him anyway or what he's talking about. And so he's trying so hard to keep people's attention. But then at the same time, he knows he's got to get it out. And at the same time, he doesn't quite know what he's trying to say. So he's like, so he'd start telling a story and he'd be like, so I just got to tell you, I was at school and that this boy came, I was talking to him and he can see that people are getting frustrated. He can see that the boys are like, would you just spit it out already? Just get it out. Come on. What are you trying to say? You're taking too long. And he would get so nervous because he was taking so long and frustrated that he would just never mind. And he would just walk away. So I started to recognize that. So one thing that I started training him to do was to think of what he wanted to say before he started to speak. So I would say, Rance, okay, stop. I want to hear this story, but I want you to say it to yourself and then speak it out loud. Say the sentence you want to say, and he'd stop and he'd think about it. I'd say, okay, now go. And he'd say it. And he had no problem doing that. That's not stuttering. No. Stuttering is a physical thing that they can't get their lips and their mouth and their brain to all work together. He could do that. It's just he was so wanted to get in on the conversation that he would start before he had it all down with what he was going to say. And then his little brain wasn't quick enough to, and then he'd get anxiety because, everybody's like, come on, spit it out, So he felt like he was never being heard. Never being heard. So it came a point in time where I would just stop the boys and I would say, stop. You need to listen to your brother. And he'd get frustrated and he'd be like, just never mind. And he'd start to walk away and say, no, Ramsey, come sit down. Boys, you be quiet and you listen until he's finished because he needs to be heard. Mm-hmm. He needs to be heard. Whatever it is that he wants to say, I don't care if he's telling you that, he stuck bubble gum on his nose. I don't care what it is he needs to say, but he needs to know that he was heard completely. So I would make them sit there, and they would hate it because sometimes it would take several minutes. But Ramsey
Bless his heart.
felt so much better, and I could tell he felt so much better just to be able to get it out. Even though it might have taken him a minute to get it out, he needed to get it out, whatever it was. So listening and
So
being
those
heard.
boys learned to listen.
They did. They did.
And without any, and then there's the listening that you are judging what the other person is saying, or you're reading more into it than is actually there. And that's very bad.
Right. Because when you're answering what they're saying to you, when you're thinking of what you want to say next, you're not hearing them.
Right.
When your brain is already thinking about what you're going to tell them, like, oh, he's talking about, well, you know what? I'm going to bring up this, and I'm going to tell him about this, and da-da-da. You lose everything from that conversation from that other person. You have no idea what they said to you because you're already on to the next thing and what you're going to say.
And when you're listening, make sure that you are understanding what the other person is saying by asking questions if it is not clear.
Yes.
More arguments and battles and feuds have started because
miscommunication.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. And I'm going to tell you another thing that
tell us another thing.
Yeah, about that all is that now you made me lose track. My husband's making faces at me and mimicking
body
me.
movement.
And it's really hard to keep on track. All right, so what was I going to say? No, you go ahead. I'll think of it. Keep going.
He messed me up.
He messed you up too? Get over here and talk then, Patrick. You get on for a minute while we get our
So the whole
stuff
moral
back
of
in
the
'em.
story is, the whole thing is, make sure that you downplay your own judgment and your own take on things when people are talking to you. That
Take
you
a break
listen,
from thinking.
Right.
Just hear.
Right.
Just try to hear. You can listen and not hear. And that's stupid. If you're taking the time to use your ears and to listen, you might as well hear what's coming in. You know, don't be playing on your phone. Don't be, thinking of the laundry that you got to do. Don't be focus. Oh, that's what I was going to say. All right, so my oldest has had a problem with focusing. He was diagnosed ADHD actually when he was little. And so we had to think of strategies because I wasn't willing to put him on meds. So we had to think of strategies. He did take fish oil, which was very helpful. But and we minimized his sugar intake, and that always helped too. But one thing was, with an ADHD mind, they are so on to the next thing. That's why they miss what you're telling them. So for his mind, for me to start giving him directions, I would get one, maybe two directions in, and he'd be on. He'd be off.
Starting.
He'd be already thinking about what I want him to do that first. So let's say, for example, in the morning time, I'd say, okay, boy, I need you to brush your teeth, grab your backpack, get your shoes on, and meet me downstairs. He would hear, brush your teeth. He might hear, grab your backpack, but he completely forgets the rest of it. And it's not that he even forget. He just quit listening. Right. He was already thinking about, okay, I got to brush my teeth. So I started telling him, you're going to have a pop quiz. So when I tell you something, you're going to have to repeat it back. So you better listen. So all of a sudden, instead of thinking about the first thing I told him to do, he had to think about the quiz he was going to have at the end of that sentence. So his mind then focused more on, okay, you got to brush your teeth, you got to grab your backpack, you need to get your shoes on, you need to get downstairs.
And you would make him say it back to you?
And I would say, what did I just say? And the first couple of times, he was so frustrated. But I'm telling you that it helped. Because probably within a month of doing that, I'd be like, JP, brush your teeth, grab your backpack, get your shoes on, meet me downstairs. What did I say? And he'd go, brush my teeth, get my backpack, grab my shoes, and meet you downstairs. And I'd go, perfect! You got it, boy. You got it.
That's so cute.
That's really what we needed need to do is we need to focus.
Right.
So that we can hear.
And make sure that you hear it the way that it is meant.
Right.
That's a big problem with people.
Ooh, that's hard. That can be a structural thing. Let's talk about that. But go ahead. Tell me.
So
what you
I might say to you, I can't go with you Wednesday because I have a dinner date with somebody else. And you might hear, I prefer this person's company over you.
Okay. So let's talk about that. Why does that happen? Sometimes it's emotional. Sometimes we have baggage that makes us think we're not worthy.
That's the biggest
and
one.
So we have these filtering mechanisms inside of us, but we also have structures that do that for us. So within the brain, there's this structure called the amygdala. And the amygdala is the filtering mechanism, the filtering structure that actually allows you to put connotative emotions attached to audible hearing of words. So let's say, for example, somebody says, and it may not even be that different. It may be like somebody says, hey, Julia, I hope you have a good day. And I hear, hey, Julia, I hope you have a good day.
Right, right.
And I'm like, why would that person say that to me like that? I've not been that way.
Right.
Like, why are they mad at me? And that creates a whole nother set of miscommunication problems. For
right.
people. So.
And when that happens in my life, I turn around and I'll say,
what'd you say?
When somebody mishears me like that, I'll say, what did you think I said? And they'll repeat it. And I'll say, but I didn't say it like that.
Right. And they'll say, yes, you did.
That's exactly
what
they say.
And you're like, no, really, that's not what I meant. You heard it wrong. And they're like, no, I heard exactly. Mm-hmm. But see, that's the thing. They did hear exactly.
Right.
But they heard what their brain, their filtering.
So what do you do about that?
Well, I adjust people for it. I actually adjust for the left amygdala, which causes fear and anxiety through misinterpretation. So I adjust people for that. I do cranial work. I do all kinds of, things.
Boy, are you going to be a busy girl. I'm sending lots of people to you.
Good. And I actually had some people today that I had to teach that to. And perfectly pleasant lady, super pleasant lady. And I'm like, this is a weird thing to bring up to you, but this is what I found. And so I want to talk to you about this for a minute. Do you ever have instances where you feel like you interpreted something right and somebody else is telling you interpreted it wrong? Like, do people talk to you and you get upset with them and then they say, I don't know why you're upset. I didn't say it like that. Do those things occur? And she said, yeah, they do. Oddly enough, they do. And I said, that upsets you, right? And she said, well, yeah, that upsets me because I don't know why they're being that way. And I said, well, it's because this is the way you're filtering that information. So I can correct this in a brain. I can get that working better. Do you want me to do that? And she's like, well, sure, I want you to do that because I don't want to go through life misinterpreting. But people don't know they're doing it. They don't know. If you don't know what you don't know, right?
Right.
So you have to get it checked out.
So lots of things, lots of components to listening.
Yeah. Yeah, it's really difficult for some people. And another thing is, even if they do listen and they do hear, they have so many defense mechanisms that they're like, you know what? Screw you. I just, blah, 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 I just, blah, blah, blah. And you're like, no, that's not really what this is about. This is, can we have some dialogue? Can we talk?
Right.
And people, no, I don't want to hear anything out of you. Just leave me alone.
And sometimes it's better to just walk away at that point because there is nothing you can say.
It's true.
It's just like sometimes it doesn't matter what you say, you're not gonna win an argument, even though you know you're right, and it's just not worth it.
Because I guarantee you, they know they're right just as much as you know you're right, and they probably are right. They're right from their perspective. You're right from your perspective. But just because you have different perspectives doesn't mean that they're going to correlate. Did that make any sense?
Right.
I don't know what I'm saying.
Right.
So, but yeah, listening is so super important. When I have people come in, I spend a lot of time talking to them on the first visit. And I ask them all kinds of questions. And a lot of times I'll get this. You're a chiropractor. How could you possibly need to know all of this? I get that a lot. People are like, can't you just lay me down and crack me? Why are you asking me when I started